Today, we are going to be doing a 2025 mock draft. I have RBT here. He is going to be taking the number 1 pick, and I'm going to be going at number 2. RBT, let's get into this.
We are going with Jalen Milroe. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I was like, oh shit.
Tennessee Titans 100% are going with Cam Ward. Absolutely. Everything we've done in the offseason has led to this. We have bolstered the offensive line. We were not interested in any capable veteran option on the market. We brought in Brandon Allen. Brian Callahan cannot afford to go into the season with his two options being William Levis and I've already forgot his name, Brandon Allen.
Yeah.
Brandon Allen's absolutely no chance. We're going Cam Ward. It's the only thing that makes sense right now. Because if Brian Callahan doesn't win 5 games, 6 games, the series fired. Cam Ward is the pick. Absolutely, no question. If he's not the pick, we're riding.
Dude, I've seen you comment so many times on X, even before I thought Cam Ward was the right pick. I'm just happy for you because I've just seen you say it so many times.
Don't even say that yet because like my brain is still like I'm thinking of every like negative, like every alternate scenario where like they could go a different way.
Yeah.
And there's still options out there. Like I'm still worried like the Giants, like now that they're stuck with Jameis Winston, like they still could trade
Yeah.
just give two first round picks, a couple seconds and just make it like the Titans have to accept. Like I still get worried those options like are on the table, but like I just think with the moves that they have made, it just is pretty
Right.
freaking obvious.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point in signing a Kevin Zeitler to a 1-year deal if you're gonna roll out with Brandon Allen? Like, that's just
Yeah.
not happening.
Yep.
I think it's got to be. Do you agree? Like, do you think that's what's gonna happen here?
I always say money talks much louder than words or mouths do. And literally, I reference the Zeitler contract every time. Why would you give him a 1-year contract if you're just going to be like just testing out backup quarterbacks? Like it just looks like you're prepared to give somebody the best possible case scenario.
Because if they don't go Cam Ward, they're tanking. Like they're
Yeah.
going to tank 100%. And I
Right.
don't feel like Kevin Zeitler's a guy to go to like. What's the point in signing him? Like
Right.
he's a very capable, very very talented
Yeah.
offensive guard, even at his age. Like
Yeah.
why sign him if you're planning on tanking?
Yeah.
Like
And in the twilight of his career, why would he go to a team that's tanking? That also ruins your legacy. It doesn't make sense.
the only thing that worries me is I know there's a lot of back and forth like between the Titans fans on Harold Landry and his production. I
Mhm.
mean, whatever his advanced analytics are, it's still kind of difficult to replace 9 sacks, on a team that already was really rough in pass rush. And we've signed Draymond Jones and Lorenzo Carter the other day. So it still worries me that like edge is still a big issue. Like Abdul Carter is
Yeah.
great and all, but like quarterback's just a different animal, dude.
Yeah.
Quarterback is a different animal. Like Abdul Carter's great. I know he's probably gonna be an all pro, I think. But it does worry me that they haven't like signed like a Zadarius Smith
Mhm.
or I'm
Someone to
trying to
fill in
think.
the gap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody, yeah, like that. Which I mean, we're probably gonna take 1 or 2 edges in the draft, probably.
Yeah.
That does worry me. So like the whole point is like I'm thinking of alternate scenarios where they
Mhm.
might not go Cam Moore, but again, like trusting my gut, like everything they've done just makes me feel like they're going Cam Moore. I'm glad you agree. I'm glad you're giving me some confidence here. So I'm gonna crash out if they trade down. I'm gonna crash the frick out.
I'll be watching live just to make sure. If that happens, I'm turning off my stream and I'm going straight to yours. So,
Because Cam, I think people put way too much emphasis in the quarterback draft as a whole. Like,
mm,
oh, this is a bad quarterback class. No point in taking a quarterback number 1. When I really, well, it's different. Like if the Cam Ward of this year, like say Cam Ward came out last year after having the same season he had at Miami this year. So
mm,
this year's Cam Ward came out in last year's draft class.
yeah,
I genuinely believe he would be pushing Drake May for the number 3 quarterback spot. I really
mm,
do. I don't think he goes over Jaden Daniels. I don't think he'd go over Caleb Williams. But that is how
mm,
good Cam Ward is. Like
yeah,
I put on the tape and I was shocked. I
yeah,
was shocked at the kind of things this guy can do with the football in his hands. It is nuts. Like his
yeah,
arm is incredible. the way he can manipulate his arm angles.
Mhm.
Like, his processing speed is incredible. Everybody wants to talk about, like, there's still a lot of Shedeur Sanders, like, fanboys that I mean, I think he'd be fine. But to put him over Cam Ward, like, he's the perfect fit for Brian Callahan's offense. Like,
Mhm.
Shedeur Sanders is great at anticipation. Like, he doesn't have the greatest arm in the world, but he
Yeah,
can anticipate with the best of them. Did you not watch Cam Ward's tape? Like,
he's awesome.
he has incredible anticipation. Like,
Yeah,
he is like, and they're also like, wait on next year's draft class. I think Cam Ward would be the
could
best
be
quarterback in next year's draft class because
very
there's like,
possible.
I mean, I know every year there's quarterbacks that rise up the top. Like, I know like Cam Ward wasn't on the radar to go number one at all, so I
Right.
know that changes year to year. But still, like right now, there's just like nobody that I would rather take in next year's draft class than
At
Cam
this rate.
Ward.
Mhm.
Like, and think Arch Manning. Like, we've seen him run some read options. Like, we've seen him
Yeah,
run some
yeah.
read options. Like, he's probably not even gonna come out next year, so that's crazy. So I say
They're
all
probably
that to
mad, yeah.
say I'm yapping to say that we gotta take him more. We
No,
gotta
I
take him
love
more.
that. Obviously, this is your team. I wanted you to yap as much as possible.
I won't
Get
yap
your
this much the rest of the video. That's just I'm
no.
passionate about this Cam Ward pick. Very,
You know what? It's the right pick,
yeah,
honestly. And spoiler alert for my quarterback video that will be dropping within a couple of days. He takes a pretty big lead over everyone else. And he
I don't
would
think
have
it's
been
close.
QB3. He would have been QB3 for me last year based on the grades. So,
It makes
I
me
do
feel
agree.
smarter. You agree with me on that? I'm
Yeah.
gonna be a 30-year-old man doing this all the time. Like, I'm gonna be like, my wife already doesn't want us to take Cam Ward because she already knows I'm gonna be doing that all the time. She hates that. She said it looks like somebody's wafting a toot. That's what
Oh
she
my
says.
god.
But
She has some points. She
I
got some valid points. Oh
I'm
my
I'm gonna be
god.
doing that all the time. Like, I'm gonna be obnoxious. I'm gonna be obnoxious.
I'm
30
turning
years
off
old,
the
by the way.
stream for you, and I'm turning on mine after I see you do that the second or third time. So I'm just giving you FYI. Retention rate's gonna drop a little bit.
Oh, yeah. All right, number 2.
Yeah, let's go to number two. For the Browns, I think that short-term contracts arguably talk as much as doing nothing at all. And I think one-year contracts that are cheap are defensive coordinators or offensive systems trying to mitigate issues that come about with, potentially missing out on a prospect you like. I think Joe Tryon-Shoyinka ended up showing that there is a desire for someone with some speed off the edge outside of Myles Garrett. I'm going to be going Abdul Carter here at this selection. I think that he's just special. And I mean, who better to learn from than Myles Garrett, who is pretty much great in everything that Abdul might not be. So it's the best possible scenario, and it kind of showed that they are trying to at least dip their toes into the speed rusher aspect.
I think that's exactly what they do too. And the thought of Miles Garrett and Abdul Carter both rushing the
Crazy.
quarterback at the same time, that is nuts.
Yeah.
That is scary. I already know
Insane.
Miles Garrett gave me one of my worst Sundays of the last like 5 seasons. I think it was like 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Like, it was who was it, Andre Dillard at that point at left tackle. Like, he
He's
gave like he beat Andre Dillard so bad that he gave him tips at the end of the game. That's insane. But you throw Abdul Carter into that mix, that's insane. I know there's a lot of Browns fans that probably want to go Shedeur Sanders,
Mhm.
um, but like maybe even Travis Hunter. But
Yeah.
just the thought, like, Abdul Carter and Miles Garrett together could just completely take over football games. Like, you don't
For
even need corner. You can play in the field without corners. Like, if you have those two, the quarterback's never gonna be able
Yeah.
to get the ball off. So
This
I
is
feel
true.
like I
Yeah.
feel like it's a good pick. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming like we need to we're going like with who we think the team's gonna take, not with who
Whatever
I
you want to do,
okay.
homie.
I think I'm gonna go with like who I think the team's gonna take instead of my personal opinion of
Uh-uh.
like who I would take.
No, you
Um
take whoever you want to take, homie.
no. I'm trying to get this accurate. I'm trying to like, I want this video to
Okay.
go viral. Like, this guy got all the odd picks in the draft right. But here at 3, it's tough, but with the Jameis Winston signing today, and I think the Giants brass is so desperate.
Mm.
I know there's gonna be a lot of people that just don't like this comment. I don't think he deserves to go here, but I think he will go here. I think this is gonna be Shedeur Sanders. I know the Giants like him a lot. A lot of rumors he can go too with the Browns. I
Mhm.
think Jameis Winston is kind of like the perfect mentor for a guy like Shedeur Sanders. I love Jameis
Mhm.
Winston. But I
Jaboo's the
think
beast.
like you think about a guy that has to have the right mindset for a city like New York to be able to take on that media, and to take on that market. Shador's the perfect fit, I think. I know Brian Dable loves him. There's a lot of smoke there, I believe, and
Hmm.
I think the Jameis Winston signing that happened today really kind of shows that you can want to use him as a bridge.
Mhm.
Um, and I think they're gonna be taking quarterback. They're even taking quarterback here, or possibly trading back in the first round, or maybe
Yeah.
take a quarterback with their first pick in the second round.
Yeah.
And I'm still like worried they're gonna like give the Titans a king's ransom and try to trade up for Cam Ward. But I don't. I think the Titans are pretty set. So I think, but I think they got to go quarterback. Like Dable, they're fighting for their life this season. Which I'm like, well, I'm shocked they didn't go with like a Russell Wilson or try to get Kirk or like
Yeah.
somebody that could possibly win them more than 2 or 3 games to try to save their jobs. But I think with how the Cards have felt, I think they go Shador.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. So, if let's just say the Giants traded a king's ransom to move up to 1, how would you feel if the Titans ended up getting multiple first round picks, multiple seconds, potentially
I know
even
where you're going with this.
and selected Shadur Sanders instead? Would
Um,
you
I I don't think he's good. I
That's a
don't
clip.
I just like I mean, I just don't think he's what the Titans need.
Yeah.
I just don't think we need somebody that can a Jaden Daniels type that can just
Mhm.
elevate the squad. And I just don't think that Shador Sanders because
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of talk about Shador Sanders didn't have this around him, didn't have that. Yes, his offensive line was kind of sketchy at times,
Yeah.
but his time to throw wasn't that on average last season wasn't that much worse than Cam Ward's.
Mm.
And Shador Sanders had the freaking Heisman winner to throw the ball to. Not
Yeah.
only that, he had 3 other receivers that are probably gonna get drafted. So he had 4 draftable receivers with the Heisman Trophy winner, and they couldn't win more than 8 games a season.
Mhm.
Um, and there's just times where he just looked bad, like the
Yeah.
bowl game against BYU.
Mhm.
Cam Ward and Miami, they didn't make the playoffs, they made the ACC championship. They lost a few games, but there was never a game where he just looked bad. There was never a game where
Mhm.
he lost them the game. And
Mm.
the problem with Shador is not he turns the ball over too much. He hangs onto the ball way too long. He hangs onto the ball way, way, way too long. And
Yeah.
he just doesn't have the arm to make up for some stuff that arm like Cam Ward. I just there's in my opinion,
Big gap.
there's just a massive drop off after Cam Ward.
Yeah.
People want to say Cam Ward would have been QB6 last year. Like if I feel like Shador Sanders would have been
10.
who went after Bo Nix? I'm trying to think who
Um,
was the next quarterback to get drafted at Bo Nix last year.
who was it?
Was it a big drop off the fourth round?
Yeah, was it Spencer Rattler who's next?
Maybe that's crazy. I think Shador would
That
probably kind of over Spencer Rattler, but
yeah,
Shador Sanders last year might have been a mid second round quarterback, possibly. I
yeah,
think.
yeah.
Um, and we say that with the idea that if Cam Ward of this year came out last year, he would have
Right.
gone 3. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty big drop
Minimum
off
top
it,
5
and a
or top 6.
potential with
Yeah.
last year potentially being a generational quarterback class.
Right.
Um, so I just I don't think I would be happy just because I don't think he's gonna be what we need.
What would be the
Um,
price that you would say you start feeling comfortable? Like, you got such a robbery.
if Cam Ward is who I think he is, there's not a price. There's not
Mm,
would you trade Patrick Mahomes for 5 first round picks? No.
no. Yeah.
Like I'm not again
Yeah.
you always bring up a topic like that or a point like that, and somebody's like you're comparing Cam Ward to Patrick Mahomes. No,
No.
I'm just using that as a logical kind of
Right.
talking point.
You go to the
Because
extreme to explain
yeah,
the logic, yeah.
because I just think he is I think he's special. He
Mhm.
has that I feel cringe saying this, but he has that Mamba mentality, and
Rest in peace.
and I feel like with the NIL world,
Yeah.
the way it is, that is going to become less and less because players are going to be less and less hungry.
Mm,
Um, already being millionaires going to the league, and Cam Ward's a guy. I don't know. We're back. We're on the Shador Sanders pick talking about Cam Ward. But he's a guy on like literally didn't get a single scholarship offer,
Mm.
FBS scholarship offer.
Yeah.
He ran like freaking what did he was like a wing T quarterback in high school.
Yeah.
So he's like only legitimately been playing the quarterback position for 5 years now,
Yeah.
or I guess it'd be 4 years now. Um, went to Incarnate Word,
Yeah.
lit it up there.
Wonderful.
And he's been to 3 different colleges in the last 4 or 5 years, and he's
Mm.
gotten better every single year. And imagine what he could do if he actually stayed in the same spot for a while and just
Yeah.
developed instead of having to move to a different city, learn a brand new offense every
Right.
single year, learn like a whole new environment. Like just stick around in Nashville for rookie con for 5 years and just see what he could turn into.
Yeah.
That just excites me too much. Like I, I I don't think I would even be happy with 3 first-round picks, which sounds insane, but that's just because of what I think Cam Ward. I don't think there's any trade that would actually happen that
Okay.
I would feel okay with,
Okay.
just because of how good I think he's gonna be.
I mean, again, you can't replace a franchise quarterback. You could probably replace every other position
Yeah.
on a more consistent basis than the franchise QB. I'm going to make this short and sweet at number 4 for New England. There's one option that I think is logical here, and that is Travis Hunter. I mean, people talk about him as the best player in the whole entire country. He also, I mean, with Carlton Davis being signed, I do worry about him potentially playing his best position, which I think is corner, when they need wide receiver so badly. But I think you and I both can agree he's not too shabby a wide receiver.
He's oh,
It's not going to be downgrade.
absolutely. He's very interesting though. It's just like if he legitimately plays corner at the level we think he can play and he gets 10, 15 snaps a game at wide receiver, I mean, he's a worth the number 1 pick. I'm still want Cam Ward over him, but like in
Yeah,
another draft class, like
yeah,
he's like the number, like that's
yeah.
just insane what he did in college. I
Mhm.
like if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm loving this, absolutely loving this that he fell to 4. Um, if he plays both ways full time, which is kind of psychotic, like
Yeah,
more power to him. Like that, like if he plays both ways, to a level we think he can, and he actually does it full time, which that's like such a like who knows if that's gonna happen.
right.
Like he could instantly be like a top 15 player in the league. Like playing both ways is just nuts.
So I assume that you're referencing that you would take Travis Hunter over Shadur Sanders at 3 if you were doing what you would want to do.
If what I want to do, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you were taking Shador Sanders, at 2 with the Browns, I would have gone Travis Hunter at 3 over Abdul Carter, even though I love Abdul Carter.
Woo.
Um,
That
but
makes sense.
yeah, if I was the GM of the Giants, I'd be going Travis Hunter 3 over Shador Sanders, and then
Okay.
maybe I don't like Jackson Dart as much as a lot of people. I was about to say maybe get him in the second,
I agree.
um, but like genuinely,
Yeah.
if Shador gets past the Giants there is a world where he could actually fall to the second round. There is a world, unlikely, like I'd give maybe like a 10% chance, but there is legitimately a world where he could fall all the way to the second round. I mean, that does sound crazy, but it is possible. Same
Do you
time,
want
he
to hear
could
my
go
hot take real
six.
quick?
Let's hear it.
So my prediction is that the Giants will. Joe Shane doesn't like to reach. He's going to go Travis Hunter at 3. Shadur is going to fall, and Pittsburgh's going to pass on him because the draft's in Pittsburgh next year. So they're going to want to get their franchise guy then, and then the Giants are going to trade up to the late 1 and pair him back up.
Which, if you're a Giants fan, that's like
That's ideal.
ideal,
Yeah.
absolutely ideal. And
It's it's something I just feel like could happen. It's like a
yeah,
1% chance.
it just
But
like
it's a
you. It's
chance.
funny you reference like me bringing up like I've been on the Cam Ward train for like a few months now, ever since like the season ended.
Yeah.
Um, and I had so many people block me because I said I thought Cam Ward was head and shoulders above Short Sanders, and it wasn't even close. I got blocked by like 10, 15 different accounts. And it just makes me feel a little bit more validated that like my eyes didn't deceive me. Like I have some bit of football knowledge in here because I watched the film and I was
Yeah.
like, am I crazy? Or is like, because everybody at that point was like, it wasn't really like a lot of people, most people were saying Shador over Cam at
Right.
that point in time. But I was like, am I dumb?
Yeah.
Or like, am I like actually seeing what I think I'm seeing? And it's not even close. Not even close.
Yeah. I mean, for me, watching how Cam I very heavily weighted his game versus Cal and Virginia Tech, and
Mhm.
those were games where he made some very bad decisions.
Yeah.
But watching him get better as the season progressed and bounce back from he had a hot start, and it's like, "Good, you caught fire." Then
Mhm.
he really cooled off for 2 games, and I'm like, "How do you bounce back from that?" Like, I played high school football with Matt Corral. That dude, no disrespect to Matt, I love him to death. Downward spiral, could not get
Yeah.
himself out of it, which I think we've seen now imperatively in the NFL and the UFL too. So to see him bounce back, seeing that phase 3, which is the rebound, that made me feel a lot better about him.
Yeah.
You have
All
pick
right.
number 5.
Okay, pick 5. I think it's just kind of a boring one. Oh, this is kind of a boring one, but I think I'm going to Mason Graham. Makes the most sense. Big need for the Jags. New GM is going to want to build through the trenches. This is like the most popular pick you kind of see everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going to yap as much the rest of this first round. I just was very very passionate about those first few.
Yeah.
But I think Mason Graham is like the perfect fit here. Um,
Yeah.
can we scroll down a little bit?
Yeah.
I have the kind of brain where I have to like see and like I
Oh,
can't
you're
rip
talking about
things
the
out.
players or the picks?
The players. I'm trying to
Okay, I
think if
was
there's
like
any other like fits here. I could actually see them go O line. I don't
they
think
could.
Will Campbell is gonna be the first offensive lineman off the board.
Yeah.
There's a few different options I could see them go potentially, but
The hot one right now is Warren.
is Warren, yeah. I think though they have a I don't think they got rid of Evan Ingram because why is he slipping my name? Britton Strange.
Brenton Strange, yes.
Yeah, Britton Strange. I think they like him a lot. He was pretty good last year when Evan Ingram was injured. I think they like him. I mean, I know
Yeah,
Tyler Warren's a different animal, but I think they like him enough to focus more on the interior, which I feel like they've in the trenches where they really want to build through. They made some
absolutely.
crazy moves. They have a lot of players they released I just did not expect. The new GM came in like
Yeah.
fire, and
See, no, I
do you know
think
Bingle, the YouTuber?
yeah. Um,
D
I don't live
it's
under a rock.
dude,
Come on now.
I'm making like the GM like looks he reminds me so much of him. Like I like saw
Oh
like
my
the
god.
introductory picture
Yeah,
or like when they announced like he got hired as a GM.
yeah.
I'm like, dude, this guy's 100% like he's done Madden rebuilds before. Like you just know he's like had a few franchises where he's done some rebuilds.
You know what's
Um
crazy? He's probably watched some of the videos too.
he probably has. He probably actually has.
A
And
couple drinks in, he's like, "Man, I made a good video here."
And dude, it's like it makes me like I'm the same age as him, and I'm like
Yeah.
making Madden videos, and he's like he's got the authority to release like Evan Ingram's, like Andre Cisco's, like he's crazy.
It's just crazy. It is crazy seeing
They
Gladstone where
released
he's
a
at.
few more players, like Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Um,
They traded him though. I mean, like they're
oh,
going to release
they
him,
traded
but
him.
like
Yeah, the Texans was 7th round pick.
yeah.
Um,
They're like, "Okay, we're gonna release him." And there's like, "Okay,
yeah.
no."
But, no, I think Mason Graham, it makes a lot of sense. He's a very good player. Very, very, very good player. I think he
Yeah.
goes a lot more under the radar. I
Yeah.
guess it's just such a, like, star-studded draft.
Yeah.
But he's a nasty player
Yeah.
that'll fit right in, plug and fill.
I mean, also, like, just a quick little comment about Gladstone, but you also look at him and Cohen. Both of them don't value tight end that much based on the Rams. They paid again for a high school teammate. Gotta flex that. But Colby Parkinson, he necessarily is kind of like looked at as a tight end too. They're paying that. They don't really value tight end ones at that rate. Also, you look at who's a tight end over. Oh my god, I have him on on my fantasy team over in Tampa Bay. Kate Otten, like not a supreme tight end one. So you can imagine if they love Brenton Strange, they don't feel the need to spend a top 5 pick on a
He
tight
was a
end.
premier tight end 1 for about 4 weeks.
This is
He got me
true,
about 30 points a week for about a 4-week stretch last year.
dude.
I also have him in my dynasty league.
It was
I
crazy.
was really hoping Chris Godwin signed elsewhere for that reason, but
It was crazy. I have him. I was so happy. I'm like, the hell, I was about to release this guy preseason. But all that to say, I'm also kind of handed a really easy one here. It's Ashton Genty to the Raiders at number 6. I just think that he's technically not my RB1 in the class, but I just still can see there's the eyebrow raise. Amarian Hampton's my guy.
Hampton.
Yeah. I mean, if there were not 9
All
fumbles
right,
by Genty, he would
it was a good video. I'm leaving on that note. Dude,
Well, it's,
I'm a Genty stan. I love the guy.
no,
I
Genty is still a blue chip player to me. I love him to death. I am just in a stand for Amari and Hampton. So
yeah.
I'll just put that there. But I think Ashton Genty is a more wise pick for a team that's looking for a true bell cow. Again, I made a whole entire video about it. People can feel free to go check out the running back video. See, there you go, the
You know
redirection.
you know what worries me though
Yeah.
is the last time I was so sure about a running back after watching them in college, like was Trent Richardson. That was the last time I was
Ooh.
so sure about a running back.
He was
And
blind?
apparently, that's what I was about to say, dude. He got stabbed in the freaking cornea, apparently. Like on draft
Poor
night, I
guy.
guess. I've never
Oh my
seen such in my
god.
life. But
That's crazy.
but yeah, Trent Richardson, that was a wild one. I don't know what happened there.
Well,
He needed LASIK eye surgery or something. Like that's nuts.
I mean, I gotta admit, the risk for Genty having something like that happen is a little bit increased in Vegas. So
Yeah,
fingers crossed,
yeah,
knock
very
on wood.
true. Very
Yeah.
true.
But I mean,
Okay,
yeah, no long discussion needed. Genty is a true 3 down back, and, it is gonna be the Marshawn Lynch for Pete Carroll.
pick 7, give me Armand. Give me Armand.
Yes, man.
Need tackle help. I think he's the best offensive lineman in the draft. I think he'll be the first offensive lineman taken in the draft. I could see them maybe go an edge here. Little like I think it would be dumb, dumb, dumb. But there's like a 5% chance they could go Jackson Dart here. I feel like if somebody goes Jackson Dart in the first round, they're going to regret it.
Mhm.
After watching him a
Yeah,
lot.
I agree.
But there is an outside possibility there. But if I'm a Jets fan, I would much rather want this. I think Armand's great. I think he's going
Yeah.
to be the best offensive lineman in this draft. I think there's a reason. I don't know if you follow like betting odds at all. There's a reason he's starting to separate from the pack, being the number
Yeah.
one pick.
Yeah.
When Will Campbell, offensive lineman pick, that is.
Yeah.
When Will Campbell was like
Testing.
consensus number one for a while.
Yeah.
Um, I would say up until the combine.
The combine
But
sealed the deal.
yeah, I think like I just don't think people realize Campbell's probably not gonna like more than likely to be a guard.
Yeah.
In the there's a lot of maybe I'm wrong on this, but there seems like a lot of linemen that play tackle exclusively in college
Mhm.
that are probably going to end up sticking at guard in this draft a little bit more than like normal, I would say.
I
There's a
100%.
lot of there's not many players in this draft class that you are very or offensive linemen that are very you're very confident that played tackle in college that are actually gonna translate and be a
Right.
plug and plug away start like day one tackle in the league. A lot of guys could go to guard, maybe move over the line after
Mhm.
a year or so, but
Yeah.
I think Armand he's the best tackle in the class, best offensive lineman in the class easily.
Armand is awesome. And then you obviously, I mean, I know it's a defensive coach coming in, but he's coming from a team that value, I mean, they drafted Penei Sewell, right?
Yeah,
Like it's pretty obvious that that's the right move. Like right tackle's vacant right now. And then Olu Foshnu has similar positive attributes. So you can train them both. You don't have to necessarily worry about one being a particular style, particular positives and negatives that don't really correlate well with the other. So I really
yeah.
like that. It's a perfect fit.
I wonder
Um,
if you're gonna go with who I think you're gonna go with
Probably
the
not.
Panthers here. Probably not.
Probably not. You know what?
Eh,
I'm gonna let you guess. I know exactly what I'm doing, and everybody who
Well,
watches my show
I
can
the way
instantly
you
know.
said that, I know you're not going to. In my opinion, this guy that I think would go here is the most polarizing prospect in this class. Actually, that might be a lie. Shador is probably. I think Shador is more polarizing to fans
It's a
than
quarterback,
than front
to be fair.
office. Yeah.
If
Um.
like we adjust it for position, would you
Yeah.
say this one's probably the most?
Ted McMillan, I think he's either gonna be a star or he's gonna like there's no in between. Like
I think
he's
there's a
either gonna come
massive
in
bust risk.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a massive but there's huge upside. But
Yes.
like also you're looking at a guy that might just not ever be even a 500-yard receiver in the league on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
I feel like he could be like the Kyle Pitts of like wide receivers.
Oh,
Oh
I
yeah.
don't mind that at all.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's a good one. The Kyle Pitts of wide receivers.
Yep.
We need to title a video of that.
Oh, yeah.
Just go to damn, that's a good one.
I
All right,
like
I'm
him.
gonna
I like him though, but I 100% see the bust risk
oh,
with
yeah.
him.
He's my wide
100%.
receiver too, but there
It's a
is
we
a massive risk factor.
it's a weird wide receiver class in the sense of, like,
Mm,
I don't trust anybody in the first round, but there
yeah,
are so many receivers I would love to take round maybe middle of the second
yeah,
to 3, 4, you know? I think there's gonna be a lot of good receivers still available in the 5th, 6th round. It's
I know.
really, really deep wide receiver class. Not top heavy at all, but, like,
Yeah,
probably the deepest middle rounds, um, we'll see, like, for a long time from what I can remember,
yeah.
for wide receiver. But let's see
It
who you taking here.
Yeah, no, it's a good group. So I am actually this the Carolina Panthers have been notorious for having very, very consistent leadership on the defensive side, and they're losing Shaq Thompson. And enough very, very credible, very large individuals are big fans of this player and say that his character is through the roof, and people hate him. I thought this is why you were saying he's the most polarizing prospect. Jalen Walker. I think he was viewed as an edge for so long, and people got so burnt out when they saw 32-inch arms, 6'2", lacking a ton of moves because he flashed early in the season. And we're like, oh, we want to see him get up high, and it's like didn't happen. But he is so underrated as a linebacker, and the fact that you can use him in pass rush sets. This team has had Luke Kuechly and then Shaq Thompson. They're not going to go to nobody. They're not going to go Christian Roseboom as their heir apparent to that elite leadership in the linebacking core. I think it's going to be Jalen Walker.
I totally thought you were about to pull out Jahad Campbell there. I was
I,
about to
I've
say
debated it.
as a lifelong Bama fan, like, I love Campbell. I might have actually taken there over
Beast.
Walker. Walker, though, I've like to me, I don't know how you'll feel about this. He is Ted McMillan on the defensive side to me. Like, I
There's a
think
bust factor.
he is a but he has a probably a bigger, in my opinion, a bigger bust factor than what you think, but also all pro potential. Like,
Let me
it's
tell
one of
you
those.
why I
It's just
think you're
no in
right.
between.
Let me
Mhm.
tell you why I think you're perfectly on the nose. Linebacker is one of the toughest positions to translate to the
Yep.
NFL,
Oh
and
yeah.
that is his best skill set. And if he
Yep.
fails there, I don't know if he can succeed as an edge rusher. So
Yeah.
I 100% see where you're coming from on that.
The Saints are tough, man. The Saints are tough. They could literally go anywhere here.
Yeah.
This is tough. There's been a lot of steam, a lot of Tyler Warren steam here. A lot of it. I think it really comes down to it's crazy. We're gonna have I don't think I'm gonna take Ted McMillan here.
Mhm.
Um there I think it's gonna come down to Tyler Warren or Edge here.
Mm.
Um I think give me Tyler Warren. Give me Tyler Warren. Um, he's the best tight end. He's gonna be very good, very very good from day one. Um, what he was like so dominant in the playoffs, it was insane. I was watching the Boise versus Penn State
Mhm.
live, like totally rooting for Boise State 'cause I'm an underdog kind of guy,
Yep.
and he made them look like they were high school. Like that, it was crazy. He's like I think underrated as a run blocker. Um, he's just gonna be a star from day one. Probably not like Brock Bowers esque. I don't think. I don't think he's gonna come in the league like that, but
Agreed.
he is going to make an impact wherever he steps in day one. And I don't think the Saints can pass. I think at this point he's the best player in the draft. I think the
Yep.
Saints are one of those teams at that point. They're just going to take whoever they have number one on their board, and I think that's going to be Tyler Warren.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, hell, Kellen Moore loves his tight ends. 100% believe that. I was about to pull one on you and say I have Tyler Warren as tight end 7 or some shit just to see your eyebrows raise. I'm no, that's a little too much. But I'm curious. Were you rooting for SMU when they were playing Penn State? If you're an underdog
Oh
guy,
yeah. Oh, oh dude, I'm a classic college football fan. I root. I'm all about the underdog story.
pony up, baby.
All about the underdog story.
Oh yeah,
Even as
good
a
man.
lifelong Alabama fan, I don't like seeing there be 17 SEC teams in these postseason competitions.
Yeah,
I feel like that goes against the heart of college football. Like if you come fourth, fifth in your own conference, like I don't think you
yeah,
should be competing with the best of best in the postseason competition. But that's my hot take for the day. There's a lot. That's a very polarizing take. Like you either like 100% agree with me or you think I'm a moron for saying that. And there's no in between.
I am
But
the
yeah, I was
delegate
rooting.
queen.
Yeah, I was rooting for SMU with that one.
Good man.
Um, but let's see who you have
Yeah.
here. I have an
For
idea, but again, you're probably gonna prove me wrong.
oh, I'm going to prove you wrong based on your reaction earlier. But what would be your idea here?
Wait, are you about to go Amari and Hampton? Is that what you're
Maybe.
doing?
Maybe.
Let's see it. No, let's see it. I was thinking more of like a Will Campbell type, but
Mm.
I let's see it. Let's hear. Let's hear that if
You're
I
gonna
was
give the
pick,
middle finger to Braxton. I get it. I get it. You hate
let's
him.
see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go. Come
Okay.
on.
So first off, talk about these calibers of running backs. So the only reason I assume that you are not viewing Marion Hampton as a viable option here is because you don't believe in him as a potential blue chip back, which through the way that you see it, you're 100% valid for what you're thinking. Based on what I've heard from guys like Todd McShay talking to certain teams and a couple other sources as well, some of them even have him as running back one. So even if like everybody's going to have someone that they love a little bit more, but if he's in that conversation, I think that we got to start talking about him in the running back group of the ones that people believe are going to be blue chip backs. Looking at history, where have they gone? Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, both in the top 10. You look at Bijan Robinson, Jameer Gibbs. Jameer almost went sixth overall. Wait, where did he go? Oh shit. He ended up going to the Lions. So I could
He went
totally
14,
see,
didn't he?
huh?
14 was it
It was
14 Gibbs
12.
went?
Yeah, it was
12,
12.
12.
But they traded back and they were celebrating like it was the 4th of
Mm.
July and Christmas and Hanukkah all combined into one. Just that Jameer Gibbs fell to 12. So they're willing to buck the system. We all thought it was crap at the time. And I know a lot of people will. But I think Amari Hampton is the best running back when it comes to turning a negative play into a positive play. And that consistency sure as hell will help out your quarterback. And with drafting a ton of offensive linemen, it looks like they're trying to go for a luxury pick when everybody said they didn't have that ability to get the luxury.
See, I don't hate it. I really don't. I just like I guess it just to be honest with you, just I just don't think he was like on my mind there. Like
Mm.
he is the way
You didn't
you
say
kind of
it's shit.
explained
It's
that.
okay.
No, the kind. No, 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 no. No, the way you explained it made a lot of sense to me. I really don't think that's a bad pick whatsoever because this is a very, very good running back class. And
Yep.
the way I see it, and I've kind of had this. I've felt this way for a few years now. Um, I think the devaluation of the running back position was kind of crazy and
Yeah.
and too accelerated like it was, that I genuinely think you're going to see a comeback of
Yeah.
the importance of the running back position pretty soon. You
Right.
started to see it a little bit last year. I mean, like look at Saquon. Saquon deserves so much more money. Like you see what a premier back can do for
Yep.
a team. Um, yes, it's luxury, but like I still think it's funny looking back at the Jameer Gibbs pick. There was so much hate towards that pick. Even a friend of mine, big Lions fan, was distraught just because not because Jameer Gibbs is a bad player, just because you used the
Totally.
first round pick on a running back.
Right.
And I'm like, I just feel like that's such wonky logic. Like if a player is good enough, if you have him on your board and he's sitting there, he's top of your board at a position that you need.
Yep.
Like, who cares if it might not be considered a premier position? If he can make your football team better and he's as good as you think he is, take the player regardless of what
Yep.
position. Maybe not kicker or punter though. Those are exceptions. Maybe not. Maybe hold off to like the at least the second round for a kicker.
Jason Light.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh man. So what are you gonna do here?
Okay, here, 49ers. They're kind of like a mess right now. Honestly, I have not seen this once in any mock draft yet. 49ers are one of those teams that I could see, like, there's like 30 different players. I legit think the 49ers could go, like, with here. But with the rumors that are going on, with like what I think Ted McMillan.
Ooh.
I actually think I've not seen him mock there once, but their wide receiver room has gotten pretty freaking decimated. And there's like
Ooh.
very strong rumors that Brandon
I
Ayuk is going to get traded as well. So what does that leave them with? Ricky Pearsall? Like not saying he's not going to develop into a good wide receiver, but
yeah, but
like
like a one.
yeah, but like you,
Mm.
the Brock Purdy, the guy they were probably about to give $60 million a season to, Like, you haven't seen him without premier weapons everywhere.
Mhm.
Like, they trade Brandon Ayuk, and all they really have is George Kittle as a premier option to throw to. Don't know about CMC's health. Is he
Yeah,
ever going to come back 100%? You would hope so. I have him in Dynasty, so I really hope so. I hope CMC comes back with a vengeance. Um, but I genuinely think at this point, with the way the board has fell,
yeah,
like wide receiver is as big a need for them as any other position, really. I mean, again, like I say that with them having a bunch of different positions that they could use here. I mean, they could
yeah,
use line, they could use edge. I like Bear out of Texas here too, potentially. Will Campbell is sitting there.
mhm,
Which now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, Will Campbell might make a little more sense, but I'm gonna be a little crazy here. And 'cause I've just never seen this. I don't think I've seen this in a mock draft yet. I'm gonna go take McMillan. I this
okay.
this is this is my one crazy pick for the first round.
You know what? If you wanna toss in a second, I wouldn't mind it. Because you explained it, it's not crazy just because 'cause you're like, "Oh, it's crazy." But you're right. It's also, to be fair, they drafted Ricky Pearsall when they didn't look like they needed wide receiver.
Yeah,
So, what happens when they do? I thought you were about to go because you were hyping up him earlier, Jahad Campbell.
Campbell. He'd be a really good fit there too. He'd be a very, very good fit there.
Like,
Um,
that's my
that's
guy.
the that like I think honestly so far the 49ers have been the most difficult team to mock. They
Mm,
just like I legitimately you probably could if this was your pick, you probably could have went through and picked 20 different players and I would not have objected to it because there's just
yeah,
so many different ways they can go here. They're probably the most mysterious team I think that we've like in the top like so far top 11. Might
yeah,
be the most mysterious team in the whole first round, honestly. There's just like literally they could use anything. Maybe
yeah.
not a quarterback. Maybe they don't take Jackson Dart here. Maybe not a running
Oh,
back either.
could you imagine that? That would
You
be
just know though
that'd be hell.
there's gonna be something insane. Last year we had Michael Penix go 8 to the Falcons. Like you just
Yep.
know like the Cowboys are gonna take freaking Jalen Milrow or something.
Oh
Take Will
my
Howard.
god.
Like just something on the level of that crazy is gonna happen
Yeah.
in the top 15 picks. You just know it. Like
That would
so
be
just out of
ludicrous,
left
yeah.
field. And I really hope they don't freaking spoil them this year. It ruined it. Like, imagine the shock on everybody's face if like they just cut straight to Goodell making the pick, and it's like Michael Penix Falcons, and a Falcons pick Michael Penix, and like
Yeah,
there was no like cue from Adam Schefter that hey, the Falcons like out of nowhere right before they go
yeah,
to the pick, Falcons they really like Michael Penix, like they've been having a lot of they love him, like, so that kind of got you like, okay, what is he talking? They're about to
yeah.
pick Michael Penix, and they just drop it on you. Imagine like you just went straight to the pick and they said Michael Penix. Like everybody would been shocked. But I'm
Y
just the whole point. There's gonna be something like that this year. Maybe
yeah,
not on the same level as Michael Penix,
you never
but
know.
I think that turned out to be a pretty good freaking pick for him.
Well, I
But
mean, yeah, I mean, if Dart goes at 7, that would be very
yeah.
similar level, like, "Oh, okay."
But let's see. I'm assuming you don't have Riley Leonard going here to the Cowboys, do you?
You know what? Maybe in the second. That's what the Cowboys like to take old, boring products. But this one is going to be a little exciting. There's a lot of very good receivers in this class. I think this team certainly still needs to add even more firepower. And Matt Golden has been a Texas merchant. He went to Houston, ended up going to UT. It seems like he values the geographic location. On top of that, he's a boundary wide receiver. Went to an SEC school where he had no business earning a wide receiver one spot. Isaiah Bond guaranteed was like pretty much kind of promised that role and lost it due to health, but also I think due to talent as well because of Matt Golden being so good. Runs a sub 4.3. And this is on Texas where there's a billion five-star receivers that are just absolutely incredible. I think that Matt Golden is going to be a crazy riser. I would not be overly shocked if the massive curveball would have been Matt Golden in the top 10.
See, I was very interested in seeing your pick here
Yeah.
because I'll go back to um, my Titans.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering how these wide receivers are going to fall off the board because I'm
Mhm.
really hoping one of them are
Slips there.
still there
Yep.
at 35. And I feel like an idiot too because I guess I've never paid attention to it because the Titans have never had the number one pick. I didn't know. I was completely
The rotation.
befuddled. I was befuddled at the rotation. I thought we had the first pick in every round. I had no idea. I guess I'm just a moron. But
I
that but
honestly I do this for a living for the draft. and I still kind of found out this year.
Yeah,
I found out
yeah.
definitively, like, what the hell?
I definitely like to have pick 33 and not 35, but because I'm scared one of those receivers like Luther Burden's gonna fall
Mm,
and somebody snatches them up there at the beginning of the second round, or
yeah.
even trades up into the end of the first round to get them. But I'm really curious to see if one of those guys fall here.
Mm,
Because I think I would love an Amika Ibuka, but that'd be kind of a shocker if he fell out the first. Same
yeah.
thing
Seems pretty safe.
with Luther Burden as well. But we'll
Mm,
we'll see. Wouldn't mind an edge, one of the edge to fall to
this
the
is true.
at pick 35. Um, but let's see. Let's see.
Dolphins. What are you
Okay,
lurking?
my pick 13. I have been like this is I've done. I think I made the same pick in my mock draft on my channel like about a month ago.
Mm,
I've seen uh the Dolphins are another team that like they could go a bunch of different directions. I'm kind of torn here now
mm,
because I wonder if I want to stick with my guns. Same guy I've had mocked there for a while, or if had the board has fell.
yeah.
Oh, I
You're
think I might.
debating if you're gonna go after, like, a safety or else Will Campbell, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah?
yeah, yeah.
I got you on that one, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Um, I like Malachi Starks as my number one safety. I know there's some debate there. The old boy out of South Carolina's kind of
Nicky
flipped some
Memori,
boards. Or do they even have him on the board? He's pretty
he's in,
far.
like,
Like
20s.
they have him
My god. No, Trev has him pretty late, 43.
43. That's crazy. Yeah, he's I don't. Well, yeah,
I think
he's
Trev
not
said
gonna play.
he's updating the DBs still, so
Okay.
yeah,
Um. No,
I'll ask him.
like I'm gonna go Campbell.
You
Like
gonna
I
go
was
Will?
I had Starks there for the last like month or so, but this is with the way this board has fell. I didn't take Campbell at 11. Like I know he's probably not gonna be a tackle. Um,
Still could
but
be.
that yeah, he still could be. I just and I didn't take him at 11. He's still really good. I don't think he's going to fall past this point in the draft for a team that really needs a bunch of
Sure.
offensive line help.
Yeah.
Um, this is one of those instances where I feel like you have multiple needs.
Mhm.
Yes, positional value is a little bit more important, on the O line versus safety. Not to say safety is like completely, irrelevant or anything. Malachi Stark's a great player,
It's
but
true.
you have two players, very good caliber.
Yep.
You go with the more important position. You go Will Campbell.
Okay. I will lock it in. Colts, I think they're the one of the biggest benefactors from, like, how the board has fallen. Even though Will Campbell wouldn't be a bad guard pick for him, interior offensive line has slowly become one of the most pressing issues for this team.
I'm just very glad as a Titans fan that Tyler Warren isn't here. It's just the
Oh,
second straight year I've had to worry to death about a premier tight end prospect falling to him. All the mocks had Brock Bowers going to the Colts last year.
yep.
I knew from the day I watched Brock Bowers as a freshman in the SEC championship, he was going to be an all pro one day. He was incredible. And I feel the
Mhm.
same way about Tyler Warren. I was worried to death that they were going to get Brock last year, worried to death they're going to get Tyler Warren this year. Um, so I'm glad. I don't care who you pick. I'm happy that it's not Tyler Warren.
I mean, honestly, that is so factual. But for the Colts, I am kind of I'm a little bit stuck on the idea of what I truly would want to do here. They just signed Cam Bynum to 15 a year,
They're like the
and they like,
Niners. They're like the
huh?
Niners. They're like the Niners. Like
Yeah.
they can go anywhere.
I mean, the question for me, I think the best player here is Jahan Campbell because they love to have quality linebackers on their squad, and technically they could upgrade here. But they're also doing such a good job at sniping these linebackers on day 3. Like, they're just doing such a good
Yeah.
job. I think stick to your strengths. Um, Honestly, I don't think Colston Loveland's the pick for him. I think they value blocking enough, and you don't want to get just basically a better version of Kylan Granson. Hot
I wish
take,
they
but
would. I wish they would. You know why?
mm,
I think the drop off from Tyler Warren to Loveland is about the same as Cam to Shador. I think there is a
I agree.
huge drop off. Like
Yeah.
Tyler Warren's, like I told you, like I legitimately think he's like this is crazy, but like a potential All Pro from day one, just like Brock Bowers was.
Ooh.
Um, but again, I don't think he's going to step into the league. A lot of that is going to deal with situation too. I say that deal with situation. Brock Bowers had tend to tap me and throw into him at quarterback last year.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I think Tyler Warren's gonna step in and have a great year. I don't think it's be Brock Bowers esque, but that's just how heavily where I hold Tyler Warren in
Yeah.
regards, you know.
I mean, Tyler Warren's incredible. I don't blame you at all. I'm thinking about throwing my curveball here. The Colts really value their defensive line, and we need to find a way to put Michael and Shamar higher than where we kind of think they should go, just because NFL defensive coordinators just absolutely adore it. They just apparently are enamored with the two. Shamar is, the DC's dream to make into Miles Garrett. Michael is super young, and you're buying low on somebody who was affected by health more than capability this year. And the question is, like, I'm curious where you would go with this pick because, I mean, Ezra Raku's the safer bet. I don't think the Colts are in the mood to get safe at the moment. But
I would definitely, and this is gonna ruffle some feathers. I would not
that's my
touch
line.
well well, especially with a pick in the top half of the round. I know this is gonna blow some people's minds, and they're gonna think I'm not the smartest man in the world. But I would not touch Shamar Stewart. I know he's probably arguably the most athletic um, edge prospect of all time, but like there has got to be some sort of there's got to be some weight put towards what the
Yeah.
guy did in college. How are it's not like he had terrible coaching at Texas A&M,
Mm-mm.
one of the richest, like if not the richest college in the planet.
Right.
Like there's got to be something to this guy
Yeah.
that is the most athletic edge prospect since Miles Garrett, if not arguably more athletic than Miles Garrett was coming out, only
Mm-hmm.
getting a sack and a half a season. Like, what? Why? Like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Like, there. Like, I would not. I wouldn't, especially if this wasn't such a deep edge class, might be a little bit different. But
Sure.
with some of these names that you still have on the board, I just don't know how you can go with Shamar Stewart over a James Pierce, even
Mm.
over a Mike Green, even
Mm.
over I'm hoping as a Raikou falls to my Titans in the second round. I don't think it's going to happen though. He's the guy I've been eyeing for a while, but he's been steadily rising up the boards. I know
I,
that's a crazy take because I know so many people put stock into athletic, just pure raw athletic traits, and I know
yeah.
he's a unicorn. But I just can't get past. I know it's been done before. I know Daniil Hunter
Yeah.
didn't do it, but that's such an
The
anomaly.
exception,
Yeah, that's
not the
such
rule.
an anomaly. Been done before, and I know there's weight to like the upside there,
Yeah.
but like, is the weight of the upside worth that at this point when you have these names still sitting there?
You're speaking
Um,
my language. I was gonna
yeah,
say earlier, you're talking about how it's like almost a crime to say Shadur is not in the same tier as Cam.
yeah,
I ended up making a short about this. It's like there's two Colts right now. It's the Shadur Colt and the Shamar Stewart Colt. So
yeah,
just beware. They're lurking. All that to say, with a $20 million a year acquisition of Chavarius Ward, this this whole entire organization is focusing on tweaking the defense and going best player available. They want the best player available for what they needed in the offseason. I think that they're willing. Last year, they ended up not needing an edge either when they drafted Leatu Latu. I don't think that they need a corner here, but I think the best player available is Will Johnson. I think he's the best player in the entire class when
been
healthy.
some injury. Yeah, I was about to say there's been some injury
Right.
problems.
The
He's fell a
big
lot. He was like a before the season a bona fide like top
top.
five, top six
Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Um, but then Travis. Well, I was gonna say Travis Hunter happened. He's been happening, but
Yeah.
I think he is that high upside pick at this point.
Right.
Like he
And
has all pro potential. Like
yep.
if he's healthy, probably be going top 10 more than likely.
I mean,
Um,
the biggest winner here is Lou because Coach Lou, the DC, has not had a corner for the past like 4 years. He
yeah,
finally has all these corners that are just excellent. And I think they're going to try organizationally do what they did with Leatu Latu. And that was allow him to be like a number three and not have to be a true number two or a number one just yet. When you have Ward, when you have Jones, when you have Brents, but you want to upgrade from Jones and Brents. So the
Yeah,
vision is you want him to be that starter, but at least you don't need to, especially with the health.
yeah. I should say I like that pick, but I don't because I like Will Johnson and I don't like the Colts. So I don't. It's horrible pick. Horrible pick. You should have went Loveland.
You know what? Oh my god.
Or you should have got Anthony Richardson's replacement here. And I'm trying to
Dylan
think of.
Milrow. Can you imagine
No,
that?
no, no, no. You should have went Dylan Gabriel here. That's who you should. That's who you should have went. No, but I would not like that as a Titans fan if that happened. I think Will Johnson would be a great pick here. But
Yeah.
here at the Falcons, I'm stuck between two players. I'm stuck between James Pierce
Ooh.
and Jahad Campbell. And I honestly, I think Jahad Campbell's like, I think they have him ranked pretty spot on. I think he's a
Yeah.
top 10 player in the class. Don't know if he's in the top 10 because of the whole positional value argument. But I think Raheem Morris, oh my God,
He's
he
gonna
would
love him.
love Jahad Campbell. And
Mhm.
I think that's going to be the pick here. He is a difference maker. A difference maker.
Yeah.
The Alabama defense with him on the field versus off the field was night and day. Um, I think he's the Falcons fans should be very, very, very happy with this pick if this is what to happen.
Oh yeah. I mean, Jahad Campbell. You said you're like a big Bama fan. Obviously, it's. I think he's a better edge than linebacker. I think he's
Yeah,
a damn good linebacker, but
yeah,
literally the number one edge from his high school class. The dude
yeah.
just Alabama's just so goated that they kicked the best edge in the entire country to linebacker.
Yeah, I know I have a little bias, but I think it was what Panthers are 9, right? Panthers are,
Yeah.
I would have gone Campbell over Jalen Walker at 9. Um, but I mean, it's just pick. It's like pick your poison, like
Right.
one or the other.
Okay. Well, Cardinals at 16. There's a couple routes they can go, but they ended up missing out on Milton Williams, and they're willing probably to pay 20 million a year. So looking at the options available, Walter Nolan sticks out like a sore thumb, right? He's like 293, explosive, and that makes a lot of sense. But there's also some questions about his maturity level. That's not going to fly with Gannon. I mean, I know that the Eagles ending up taking somebody who literally, to some people, they ended up killing somebody. So I mean, you could talk about that personality issue, but I do think that the Cardinals, especially in particular odd fronts from time to time, I think they're going to love someone like Kenneth Grant, who tested out very, very well, who's a space eater up the middle, and who has basically is going to be Jordan Davis
Yeah,
for Jonathan Gannon. Almost it's like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter combined, but maybe like NFL Jordan Davis and NFL Jalen Carter combined, like the pluses
yeah,
and the minuses. And so, I mean, and he's also someone who's known to be a great locker room presence, and this dude chased down fat man Katron Allen from behind. You can't say he's a bad athlete. This guy's a stud. So I think he's going to go a little higher
it,
than what people expect too.
that's what I would have went. I would have went with Kenneth at 16.
Let's go.
Good pick. Good pick. 17 Bengals. I think they 100% go on defense side of the football. It's got to be edge. I think it's got to be. Give me. Oh, it's a tough one.
Shit, Mar Stewart. After that whole rant.
I see. Like that's a tough one
Yep.
because I know I'm making these picks based on what I think these teams will do,
Yep.
but like in my head, I'm just like, again, I'm the guy that makes Madden videos. Like, give me some slack. Like,
No need to
but
dumb
I
yourself
just
down.
can't. I in my head, I just don't feel like a team's gonna be able to talk themselves into taking him. I know
Well,
it's
definitely not the
second half of
Bengals.
the yeah, second half
Yeah.
of the first round now, so it's not
Yeah.
like it's like super early in the first. But I say that, and there definitely is some coaches that would talk themselves into taking a guy with the traits he has. But the whole point is that don't think I can take him just yet. I'm a good Mike Green. I'm a good Mike
Mhm.
Green. I think I'm a good Mike Green. Tough is either him or James Pierce. I like it's when you get to this point, dude. It's tough because like
Yeah.
these, I think the top 3 guys here left on the board are kind of in the same tier.
Mm.
Um, they all do things a little bit differently. But at that point, it's just like put their 3 names in a hat, pulling out. I think there's
Yeah.
a pretty big drop off as after Ezeraiku.
Yeah.
Um, but I think any of these 3 guys here would be good for the Bengals, and if I was a Bengals fan, I'd be happy to 3. I go Mike Green. I think Mike
Okay.
Green has a very, very, very high ceiling. He was incredible at the Senior Bowl. I
He
know
was
there's some off the
off too.
field stuff, but like I feel like it'd be a bigger deal. It came out like by now it'd be a bigger deal than like what I'm not saying it wasn't like what happened was a big deal, but like
No,
in terms of the way that NFL teams are
the NFL
evaluating it.
reacted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you'd heard more about it. You've only heard some like rumblings.
yeah.
Um,
He ended up actually talking about it at the Senior Bowl, from
yeah,
what I know.
which I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure like the coaches appreciated that being upfront about it. But
right.
I think out of those three, I think he's probably a smidge better than a Pierce, or a little bit more potential
Mm,
than a Pierce. Although Pierce has great, I really like Pierce a
yeah.
lot. Like, it's just hard to pick between those three.
Yeah. I mean, the one positive is that, like all these edges, even though they are relatively undersized because they're not 260, right? You can end up talking about them, wanting them in odd fronts, standing up and stuff, and they all have that capability. But all of these edges played even at their undersized build on even fronts.
Yeah.
And especially for Al Golden, who ended up having, RJ Oben, who wasn't the biggest guy on planet Earth. I think he might have been 255, 260. But Mike Green fits because he also played on an even front.
Dude, size is just a number. I was at the Senior Bowl when 5'10" Willie Lampkin was putting freaking Landon Jackson on the ground.
this
Like
is this is true. This is true.
these guys, like they might be a little undersized, but like Mike Green's,
Yeah.
he's powerful. He's
Indeed.
got some power to him. Who cares? What he's 6'2"? Is he even
Mike Green, I'm pretty sure he's 6'2". Yeah.
he's 6'2"?
He's 6'4".
Oh,
I'm
six
tripping.
four. Who
6'2"
am I
is
thinking of?
Ezraku.
Okay, yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm tripping.
Um, But no, they all like I said, I think they all have
Yeah.
like this is probably one of the best overall edge classes.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not the one type that can just like think of all like each individual classes who was in each class like on top of my head. But I can't tell you last time there was a
Yeah.
class with this many good edge defenders, and it's really good that that's the case when my Titans are absolutely desperate for one. So
Have you had the pleasure of dipping into Breeden Swenson yet?
no, I was just reading. I'm not sure if you know who James Foster is.
James is a friend of the show. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Titans fan.
Mhm.
So I follow some of his stuff, and I really
Yeah.
respect his opinion. And I was kind of reading up on his article yesterday, and he's
Yeah.
a big fan of him. Um, didn't realize he led the SEC in pressures. Um, he he's a guy I could see sneaking his way into the end of the first round.
I agree.
I think James had him. I could be totally off here. Like consensus on him is like I think the 80
Yeah.
mark
It's like
possibly.
that 3rd round range.
Yeah, and I think he had him at like 33, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower. Um, I trust James. I trust James. Um, but that was I hadn't looked into him really outside of that. But doing a little bit of reading into him, I did. I wouldn't be shocked if he kind of somebody kind of traded into the end of the first round, or like maybe a Chiefs took him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you
Okay.
like him a lot. Are you about to take him here?
No. Oh, not at 18. Granted,
Just the
he
way you set
might
that
be a
up.
top 5 player on my board,
Really?
and he might be coming on the show tomorrow, which is why I was gonna give a little shout out to that. So,
That's dope. That
yeah,
is dope.
he's a fucking baller. Straight up, the guy randomly wished me happy birthday.
That's
Like,
cool.
what a
That's
fucking
dope.
beast.
Was
So,
he at the Senior Bowl?
no, he's supposed to be at the shrine. I don't know what's up with that. I'll ask him about that tomorrow.
Okay.
But
That's dope.
yeah,
That's
if you
dope.
have any questions, let me know. I'll ask him. Get a little private interview.
Tell him if he's heard anything behind the scenes if the Titans are taking Cam Ward. Like this ask if he's heard anything from some agents. Yeah.
That's your like one question. Like, yo, by the way,
Dude,
you seen
I'm
that?
like, it's insane how infatuated I was like, I swear, I'm not even joking you. I'm about to be 30 years old, and every day I wake up, check Twitter just specifically to see if there's been any updates on Cam Ward. Every single day, I check to see
Oh
if there's
my
been any
god.
movement on the betting odds to see if the Titans are going to stick at picking number one. That's how like obsessed I need the draft to like. It's like it's taking too much time out of my day checking my phone to see if there's been any updates.
Yeah, I mean, that's such a vibe too, dude. That was kind of me as a Steelers fan watching Aaron Rodgers at like the first week of free agency. Now I'm just
Yeah.
like, if it happens, it happens. But
Dude, I'm not at that. If it happens, it happens. If it's like if it doesn't happen, I'm gonna be a sad boy. Yeah, that's the point I'm at. That I've like convinced myself. I've convinced myself, but also I'm like there's a like half my brain is being very pessimistic, thinking like we haven't like we've signed Draymond Jones and we've signed
yeah, like
Lorenzo Carter to replace Harold Landry. But also my brain's like there's some very good edge there's some good pass rushers that are going to be there probably at the beginning of the second round. But we also need wide receiver. We
yeah,
signed Van Jefferson, who's our wide receiver number 2 right now. So like
yeah, it's not
I'm infatuated. They're gonna be tired of me. I won't talk about Cam Ward anymore.
good.
I'll
It's
just do
all
this one more time.
oh, no. Alright, well, there goes all
29,
the rest of her attention, but
grown man, by the way.
grown man, nearly 30, nearly true unk status. I'm gonna get Mike McDonald, his Kyle Hamilton.
My
I'm going
bloodline's
Nicky
rolling over their
Mamori.
graves, dude.
Huh?
See my bloodline's rolling over in their grave, watching me do that as almost 30 years old. Nuts.
Oh my lord.
This
Well, I'm gonna go Nicky
testosterone's dipping
Mamori
as the
here.
days go.
Oh, good god.
Oh, I was completely checked out. Not a
No, you
bad pick. Not a bad pick.
yeah,
Um,
so, like, yeah, I'm giving Mike McDonald his Kyle Hamilton.
I'm sitting here thinking their safety situation,
They
and it
run a
makes
3
sense.
safety set.
Yeah,
You got Love in there, you got Kobe Bryant in there, Nicky Mamori as well. He's like Cam Ward 2.0. Not Cam.
yeah.
Now you got me thinking Cam Ward, Cam Chancellor.
Dude, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
It's meant to be. Cam Ward's a Titan. He's a Titan. Let's do it. Come on. I gotta
Uh,
stop. I gotta stop. Testosterone levels are dropping. I gotta stop.
oh my god. I know my balls are rescinding. I'm like, all right.
Dude, this point, I might even be able to have kids.
Anti-puberty at this point, dude.
Dude, yeah.
Every
We're
RBT collab gets me closer and closer to sterility.
yeah, dude. Your voices will start cracking here in a second.
Oh
All
my
right. Let's
god.
move on before the estrogen levels increase.
Yeah.
19. This is James Pierce all over it. This is James Pierce all
Yeah.
day, every day. Although like, hold on, actually,
Hold up.
hold on. I cannot believe Barron has fell this far. Give me Barron. Give me
Yeah.
Barron. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. They need some help in that secondary, and they definitely could use edge as well. But
Yeah.
imagine the fit though if Jahad Campbell fell here. I feel like
That's my
that would
dream.
be nice.
Yeah.
Um, but I think at first James Pierce was a no-brainer, but then I kind of glanced up top for a second, and I think Barron could like I think he's more likely to go top 15 than fall to 19. I think he's
Really?
very, very, very good. Wouldn't
I'm
be totally out of the question either if he
yeah.
goes above Will Johnson. I wouldn't personally, but wouldn't be shocked if that was to happen. But
Jai's a good
I like
player.
I'm very interested to see who you go with here.
Yeah,
Um,
for Denver.
these next 2 picks, I'm not gonna like bring. Oh, I guess I'm gonna be the one making the next pick. But I was gonna say I am wondering if there is potential. Because I was thinking about this before we even did this. Is this a draft where we could possibly see 3 running backs go in the first round? I don't know if that
Ooh.
tier after Hampton is good enough, but this is a very, very like probably one of the best running back classes in recent history. I'm
Ooh.
not sure who would even take that 3rd running back spot. They're like it's kind of
Yeah.
the same as some other positions in my head. Like there's a pretty big tier drop off after Hampton, and
Mhm.
then there's like 3 or 4 guys that like you could convince me that they're the top of the next tier that I wouldn't object. So I don't
Yep.
know who would maybe a Caleb John. I really like Caleb Johnson.
You like him? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think I don't know. That was just like
Yeah, like
the
thinking that
inkling.
next tier
Yeah.
who could slip into the one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna happen though. But again, one
Right.
of those nothing surprises me in life anymore. It'll be 4 running backs taken. Who knows?
Yeah. Real. I ended up seeing like one of the Frankenstein graphics where it was talking about Trey Henderson. It's like he has the speed of Saquon Barkley and the explosiveness of Adrian Peterson because they just tested out similarly. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, you gotta be serious to a little bit of a degree. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
All right. Well, for this pick here for the Broncos, I would debate actually going a wide receiver for them. Like, they've done a great job at patching a lot of holes. However, I think you and I both agree on this. Sean Payton is a master deception
Yep.
artist. And I think Evan Ingram was a luxury signing because he didn't want the Chargers nor potentially the Chiefs, but I don't think the Chiefs are really in this anymore since Kelsey is guaranteed back. But especially the Chargers to feel the pressure to move up for Colston Loveland. I think Colston Loveland is exactly what they want with Evan Ingram, and this is like a 23 million guaranteed bluff in order to strengthen and have some longevity there at tight end. You're gearing up to say something.
No, that's just like not what I expected. I
Yeah,
mean, again, like there's just things that you're just pulling out of left field that like I never just thought about. But like,
you could have just said pulling out of my ass, but I
no,
appreciate
no,
the
no, no, no,
decency.
no. It really like the way you explain it, it makes again nothing shocks me on this planet anymore. Um, I if I was making this pick, I would definitely go something else.
Yeah,
Um, like I'd probably get honestly probably go wide receiver. Um,
yeah.
but let's go Loveland. But I think it's a little bit different because I specifically don't like Loveland that much.
Hmm.
Um, but again, if you think he's tight end too easily, rock with it.
Yeah,
Like I mean, great run. Who are they gonna roll out a running back next year? Is what I want to know.
they're not doing well, if I'm not mistaken. They're
Jaleel
not.
McLaughlin's number one right now.
Yeah,
Um,
they're getting a running back in
they're
this
gonna
class.
draft a running back.
They're
Yeah,
gonna draft a running back. But I'm gonna do it. That's in my curveball is that Sean Payton ended up getting Evan
yeah,
Ingram as a bluff
yeah.
more than an actual asset, especially with injuries too and the age.
I have Evan Ingram on my dynasty team. I need him to be premier tight end one.
Just
I
hold out.
object. I
Yeah,
object. Um,
just hold out.
all right, this dude, I don't know what the heck to do here. I personally don't think they're gonna go quarterback here because I don't think anybody here is good enough.
Yeah,
Maybe you can have an argument if Shador Sanders fell here.
yeah.
We have some dogs going nuts in the background. I think give me Starks would be an interesting fit, but I think they go O line. Give me Banks. Give me
Ooh,
Banks here. Yeah.
Kelvin. Hello.
It just seems like a it just really seems like a Mike Tomlin pick here. I
Mm,
think, and you need some young offensive linemen to protect for Aaron Rodgers. You know, you don't need Aaron Rodgers tearing that Achilles again.
his
What
little
would you do? What would you do? Aaron Rodgers, week one, comes out waving the American flag, and just first play of the game, just stretcher comes out. I can't even imagine. Like
I
I'm
would
trying to put myself in Jets fans' shoes for that situation. Like
heartbreak,
imagine
heart shattering.
like Cam Ward drafted by the Titans, and I'm like over the freaking moon. And then he comes out, the stadium is packed. Everybody's like, "This is our year. This is where we turn things around." And he just falls over, tears his ACL, play one after getting sacked. Like I can't
Knock
even
on wood, that does
imagine.
not happen.
No, no, no. Hey, at least in that, like I know that in the Jets fans' eyes, like once that happened, like Aaron Rodgers, there was a
Yeah,
good chance he retired. So that's kind
yeah,
of a different situation. I don't think Cam Ward would necessarily retire after rookie season ACL tear.
yeah.
But yeah, I think Kelvin Banks. I think
Okay.
I personally think Aaron Rodgers is pretty much a done deal to go to Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I'd be shocked at this point if it wasn't Pittsburgh. I think that's an incredible fit, incredible.
baller.
But they need. I think he's Kelvin Banks' best offensive lineman left on the board at this point. You make an
Mm,
argument for Simmons, but I like Banks' versatility. Um,
mm.
put him there at 21, and I'd be happy if I was. What do you? You're a Steelers fan. Let me know. What are we thinking?
I mean, I think that offensive line is never complete, especially with Broderick Jones just kind of being ass from time to time.
Yeah,
I'm like, just for some reason, we just haven't gotten the tackle spot right. And we drafted one last year for sure. Like Fontenot is cool, but I honestly thought Fontenot should be a guard, and they ended up just testing out with good arm length. So it's like everyone's like, oh, he's a guaranteed tackle now. I absolutely could see Fontenot ending up kicking back to guard in this instance, or Broderick Jones for that matter. And then having
is right now. Is that who's supposed to play left tackle?
Well, I think left tackle right now is Broderick. This is the most infuriating thing as a Steelers fan. We draft left tackles and just randomly put them at right, and we're like, dude, not everyone's Joe Alt, not everyone's Penny Sewell. Okay, like for Christ's sakes, like these guys, not as good as what you're trying to make them out to be. So it's like draft a good right tackle when there's a right tackle available.
I
They're
couldn't
not going
believe
to.
I couldn't believe the Titans missed out on Joe Alt last year. I was distraught.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
just and even as an Alabama fan, I did not really like the JC Latham pick at all.
He's done
And
better than expected, to be fair.
yeah, but good enough to get for them to
Dan
give $80 million to Dan Moore to move him immediately back over to right. So
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
we
that was a bit of
drafted 2 straight drafts. We
ooh.
drafted we got Peter Skoronski,
Mhm.
left tackle at
Yep.
like I think 11
Yep.
immediately guard.
Yep.
Then we drafted another left tackle who's supposed to finally end our left tackle woes, and then after 1 year is deemed to just he's banished to right tackle. I mean, not to say right tackle's not our right tackle position was we had a God, who did he get signed by? We had a I don't think it was FanDuel, but we had a FanDuel influencer playing right tackle. A guy that got suspended for sports gambling, like Nicholas Petit Ferrer got suspended for
Oh
sports
my
gambling
god, yeah.
for like 4 or 5, 6 weeks. Then he comes back, he's horrific, like horrific. Put like a practice dummy there. He had the same result. Honestly,
Poor
probably a
guy.
better result if it's at least a pretty heavy practice dummy. Um and like he just randomly gets spawned. I forget it was some betting website, like or
Okay.
some fantasy football website.
Yeah.
Like he became like a big like athlete for their fantasy football site. I'm like, dude, we have a fantasy football expert playing right tackle. Like, what's going on? So not to say right tackle. I'm very glad we're gonna have JC Latham at right tackle because that
Yeah.
is gonna be above and beyond what we've had the
Yeah.
past few years.
It's good to see the upgrade there, but I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
also that ties into Dan Moore from the Steelers. I mean, we all know
yeah,
it's an overpay, but I
oh
do
yeah.
think Dan Moore gets shit on a little bit more than maybe he deserves it. It's
Yeah,
just
hopefully. I'm hoping. I'm
it's
I'm
it's just
hoping
that
because
price tag.
I've not heard good things. So, but I'm intrigued on what you're gonna do here
Yeah, I am
with the
too.
Chargers because I was just like my brain already has Loveland penciled in here. So now that he's off the board,
Mhm.
you're probably going exactly where I would go. Although I don't know, you're going the same position. I think I would go. Well, unless you're teasing me here.
See, the thing is, with the Chargers, they lost Poona Ford to the Rams. That's why I'm
Yeah.
debating Tyreek Williams here.
How much
Uh,
money did he get again? He got
he
a little bit more than what I thought. I think.
Yeah, he got a good contract, but I mean, according to Jason Kelsey, he's the most tough defensive lineman he's ever faced outside of
Really?
Aaron Donald. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a clip out there of it. He's like, yeah, dude, Poona
That's
Ford,
wild.
because he has great leverage and he's massive. So
Mhm.
it's just he kind of wins both battles.
Yeah.
Um, but that could be a move that the Chargers go with. I think there's a lot of potential noses in this class. I'd prefer to go after like Caldwell in round 3 or 4. A dark horse pick here is Donovan Ezraku because edgewise,
Yeah, they, Bosa's gone, Khalil
yeah,
Mack is
max
la
1
on
year.
his
He's on a
yeah,
yeah,
um,
he's on life support right now.
yeah,
And then you got
I
Tuipulotu.
actually I hate it because I was hoping
That
he
was gonna
was
be the next
gonna
pick,
I
huh?
hope no, I was hoping he was gonna keep on slipping. Although, like, with how much I like him, he wasn't gonna fall out the first round because I was probably gonna take him eventually, but go with it.
Yeah,
We
I've never done it, so I'm gonna go after Ezzy.
it just makes sense. Like, life regenerates itself, and we had Harold Landry out of Boston College, and he his reign here is over, and then we immediately could replace him with the next Boston College great pass
That would be
rusher.
insane. That'd be
But
fun.
I don't think he's gonna fall. I would love to see them together. Like I still have some. I still have what's the word? Some hope in
Some
Harold
hope.
Landry's game because
Yeah,
he was really good at one point in his career towards ACL, and he just hadn't been the same since. But
right.
um, I think that's a good pick. He's a very good player, and I
Yeah,
feel like he'd be that's a hardball pick. That's just a hardball pick. It makes a
he's
lot
a
of
good
sense
player.
too with because after Mac, like um, it's kind of
I mean, you got Tuli
thin.
Tuipulotu. It's pretty
Yeah,
barren. Yeah,
yeah. Which he actually has been a little bit better than what I expected. To be
he's
honest with
good.
you, he's
Yeah,
very good.
yeah. It's how I found
I mean,
Paulie
I had decent
Fuaka.
expectations for him, but he exceeded those. But
Yeah,
you add him, that's a pretty good pass rush. That's a pretty good pass rush, even
yeah,
with you losing Joey Bosa, who hasn't been able to stay healthy anyway. But
true.
Packers here, what Packers another team? I'd like just there's a billion things they could do.
Mm.
Um, who'd they just sign at wide receiver? Another wide receiver 3 or
Was it like
2?
McCall Hardman or something?
Yeah. That's just like I don't think like I know it says they need wide receiver, but they need a lot more.
Yeah.
and I think they 100% needs edge. And this is where like my dream is over, and I think this is where Pierce finally ends up falling.
Okay.
Um, I think, like, honestly, it's kind of wild that Pierce fell as far, but there's just
Yeah.
like so many good, pass rushers that like there's just so many good. One of them's gonna fall. Like, is it gonna
Yep.
be Mike Green? Is it gonna be
Ezzy.
yeah, is it gonna be Ezzy, or like
Yeah.
is it gonna be Pierce? You know,
Mhm.
one of them's probably gonna fall to that 20-25 spot.
Yep.
Hopefully to that 30-35 spot. But no, I think he's. It would really shock me that he's fell this far, and he's gonna his slide's gonna stop here. I know there
Okay.
was some like from what I understand. I mean, I haven't looked too much into it. I heard there was some pretty there was some character concerns there. I know
Yeah.
he did a couple of interviews that rubbed people the wrong way, from
Yeah.
what I understand. But he's like, I don't care. He's a bad boy. Like he's too good. He's too good.
He's number 13 on my board. He was number 2 because of that. But I know that you're surprised he slipped this far. I think in the real draft he doesn't go round 1. And here's why. Here's why.
Good. I love it. Music to my ears.
You're gonna love it. But here's why. Every single year, if a player has the term coaching concern, they drop out of the first. Last year is Jerzon Newton. Most notably that I remember, because I got it confirmed from an NFL scout, it was Tevin Jenkins, Christian Barmore. All these guys looked at as like almost round 1 locks, but like in that mid range in the first, fell to the second. But that doesn't mean they're bad picks.
The testosterone is increasing. It's
This is
increasing.
true.
This is
Yeah,
making me
but
happy.
I mean,
I
he's good.
there. Hey, now that you say that, there was very similar concerns with Devondre Sweat last year. He had
Mm,
just, I think
yep.
he had a DUI maybe like a month before the draft or something.
Yeah. He
And
said
there's a lot
he's
of
gonna
like
stop partying, and
there's a
then
lot of prominent Titans podcasters that like are very distraught at that pick.
yeah.
And he had a better rookie season than JC Latham did. I think he is going to be, he's one of the building blocks, like one of the main building blocks in this team.
He's so
Um, so he falls to the second. If we could add James Pierce to that defensive line, I like Jeff
yeah.
Simmons, Devondre Sweat,
And James Pierce.
um, James Pierce.
No.
That's a good little start.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
take somebody else, like maybe take a flyer in the 4th round at edge.
Yeah.
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Draymond Jones on there too. I think he's a little underrated. I really like that signing. I'm just, I think he's just. I mean, I understand what you're
He's
saying,
so
but
good, though.
he's so good. He's
Yeah,
so
he's
good.
so
But
good. Like, he was
dude,
number 2. He was above Abdul Carter for me.
dude,
Like,
take all the character concerns, take all of them.
For the Vikings, I'm gonna make this short and sweet. Malachi Starks is like, you lose Cam Bynum. I think Malachi Starks is like legitimately perfect for that. I think in reality they should trade back, especially with the lack of picks that they have. But I mean, Malachi Starks is a stud. Let's not over
I know
exaggerate.
that they just re-signed Theo Johnson, who
Yeah,
that breaks my brain because he was that undrafted free agent the Titans had for like a year
yeah,
and they cut him, and he turned out pretty well enough
yeah,
in Minnesota. Turned out well enough in Minnesota to get like a 3-year contract.
yeah,
Um, but you can't pass up on Malachi Starks for Theo Johnson, although he's a very good player.
yeah.
So I mean, getting Malachi Starks at 24 is very good
It's
value.
just good value, man. It's just good.
Texans, I I feel like Josh Simmons is just staring at
So
me.
good.
Like they need offensive line so bad. Like they've
Yeah.
made some questionable moves on that offensive line as a Titans fan. That makes me really happy. Because they're a team like they won the division last year, but
Mm,
like kind of trending like in the right. They exceeded expectations in the playoffs. I mean, they won a game
yeah,
really convincingly. But like I feel like they're kind of trending in the wrong direction. Like depending
I
if
agree.
CJ Stroud can return to form, that will
Mm,
change. But a lot of that was like due to offensive line struggles, and I don't think
mm.
the offensive line has gotten. I think it's gotten worse than what
Yeah,
it already was. Now it's not in a good state. So
yeah.
I think Josh Simmons is kind of a very obvious pick here.
Hell
Very
yeah.
very obvious.
Yeah, he's still my tackle 1 in the class. Well, he's my left tackle 1 in the class right now, but it's just I'm not a doctor, so I'm not gonna be the one to say how good he should be after an injury. Like, that's how I base my grades. I'll just tell people like, "Yeah, was great before injury."
What was it again?
It was
What
I think it was some knee injury. I know that.
Not an ACL or anything though, huh?
No, what was it, like a
Meniscus
patellar
tear?
injury? Huh?
Patella tendon injury? Is that
Yeah, I
what it
think it was a
was?
patellar tendon injury, which, to be fair, if you're just a big guy, a lot of guys get patellar tendonitis, but
Yeah.
as a former big guy, I ended up having
There's
patellar
a lot
tendonitis, like.
there's a lot worse things that could happen than,
Right.
I mean, that's not ideal, but it's
Right.
better than a meniscus tear or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
alright,
Well,
this
I
is another one I'm curious to see what you
yeah.
do here.
So for me, the one of the easy options is Ibuka here. I know they ended up signing. For me, 1 year deals are nothing. Like for me, that's just like, oh well, if you don't get a good receiver here, still think Emeka Ibuka would be a good option. Like you pair him up with Devontae Adams as well as Puka Nakua. It makes a lot of sense. But I think that boundary corner position needs some help. And you saw this player in person in Mobile. And it's a player who I love to death, who I think deserves to be a late first round pick. Tested
Dude,
4.43, physical. He's a beast.
this
Well,
makes me so happy because I've been just playing around with some of my buddies. We've been doing, like, mock drafts together, and
yeah,
we always get to this point, maybe not to the Rams each time, but, like, looking like this team really needs a corner. And I'm like, who's
yeah,
the next? And I keep bringing him. They're like, who are you talking? They're not as big into like draft stuff, but like,
yeah,
who's Trey Amos? And I keep, this guy's good. Like
yeah.
this guy's good. Also, though, Siobhan Ravel is a very high upside pick here.
Savon is
Like,
a very good one.
but it's
Very
just
good pick.
like he didn't play like
Pretty much
didn't
all of
have
this
that.
year.
Yeah, he didn't have that many snaps like under his belt at East Carolina. I think he only played like one full year,
Yeah,
coming off an injury.
yeah.
Um, Didn't get a lot of tape against, like, great competition, but one of those another kinda like a Shamar Stewart type thing where, like, probably not as, like, insane, like, in terms of not a lot of production in college versus
Yeah,
athletic traits. Um, I'd have more faith in Siobhan Arvell turning out
yeah.
like a solid player than a Shamar Stewart. But,
Mm,
I would,
I'm clipping
completely
that one.
understand. I would completely what'd you say? Clipping
I'm
that one?
clipping that.
No, I would 100%, yeah, and then he's gonna turn into the next Danielle Hunter, thanks.
He is,
Thanks.
yeah.
Everybody thinks I'm a moron, so I make Madden videos. But, no, I totally understand
Yeah,
the Trey Amos over
yeah,
Siobhan. It just
yeah.
without I just feel like Siobhan feels like something that Sean McVay would do, but
He'd be
also
taking. He would throw a curveball.
yeah, Ravens 27. Um, ooh, ooh, ooh,
I'm curious
tough.
what you do here, actually.
I'm actually very curious too what I'm gonna do here. Um,
I too am
you
curious.
you know what I'm gonna do here?
What are you gonna do?
You know what I'm gonna do here.
Are you gonna take your arch enemy?
Yes. Yes, I'm doing it. 'Cause I
Come on.
understand. I
Yeah,
completely understand the appeal. I'm just saying what I like.
yeah,
That's where part of like the aspect of what I would do.
yeah.
But I don't think he falls. I don't think he falls as far as he has.
Right.
And this fit just makes a lot of sense.
Mm,
Um, I feel like if somebody's gonna get, the upside out of Shamar Stewart, kind of makes a lot of sense, in that Baltimore Ravens front seven.
yeah,
Um, I think like in terms of the value, I think that's an incredible pick.
yeah.
Again, I wouldn't
Late
be
one.
happy if my favorite team took. I'm gonna go as far as saying like I would not be happy if the Titans took him at 35. Like
Yeah.
I just our pass rush is so bad. I just want to have
You need a
somebody that
guarantee.
like I need a guarantee.
Yeah.
But we don't have the luxury of taking somebody that has 4.5 sacks in 3 full seasons of college football like Texas A&M. I just I just like you just think about it too, the amount of like smaller, like the FCS schools they've played, like the lower
Mhm.
tier G5 teams. You
Right.
couldn't muster up more than 4 sacks in 3 years. Nuts. I'm gonna stop talking about it because I Lions. Who we think? But I think that's a good pick at 27 though.
Yeah, no,
I
honestly, shout out to Eric DaCosta. He always gets the best player available. And honestly, I think Shamar even has some extra value being almost like a Calais Campbell in allowing his size and athleticism to be able to not only be on the edge, but even kick to the inside on certain downs. For the Lions, this is a quick and easy one for me. I'm looking at Michael Williams here. You have Davenport on a 1 year deal that's super short. You need a true edge too for the long run. You give Mike Hill that long term capability to truly max out his potential. I just call it a day.
I respect it. I respect it. Probably best available edge at this point.
Yeah.
Um, the Commanders are a freaking tough one.
We're on the home
Um,
stretch. We're like,
yeah,
we're gonna
all
flip
the,
it
like
over.
at this point in the draft, again, it's like there's like 30 players stacked.
Yeah,
Like at this point, where I would not be shocked at all.
yeah,
Um, I can we scroll down a little bit?
yeah.
Who am I? Oh, I really, really, really like our guy at North Dakota State. He is
Ooh,
very
Zabel.
versatile. He can
Yeah.
play all. We actually met his parents at the Senior Bowl.
Right, yeah,
Very
his parents
nice.
were
Very,
in North
very,
Dakota
very
State stuff.
nice.
Yeah.
I don't think he falls out of the top out of the first round. He is that good. He can really play anywhere. More than likely on the inside.
Mhm,
But wouldn't surprise me if he ended up a tackle eventually. Um, the Commanders, I mean, like it's at the point where like I think the smarter pick would be for them to go edge here.
mhm.
Um, but like I think at this point, like you kind of put all the different positional needs together. I think he's the best player available for them. There, I think it goes Zabel. I really like Zabel as
Ooh.
a prospect.
I have Zabel top 10.
Really,
I do.
going top 10 or at you have him as a top
In my
10.
top 10.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
like the pick?
Yeah,
Like the
I
pick?
mean,
Get
especially with the injury, like, to Cosme for the start of the year, you
yeah.
need especially, like, it's really valuable.
They didn't sign any offensive linemen in free agency, did they?
I mean, they technically sent a lot of picks for one, if you wanna call that signing, but
Oh,
they
true. Yeah,
acquired
yeah, 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 yeah,
the
yeah, yes.
pencil.
Yeah,
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 but, I mean, nothing of note. I would
yeah,
say Zabel definitely, especially if they're trying to make a championship
yeah.
run, could be something they're like, "This is our short-term fill at right guard, but long term, we might even put him at center. Left guard's always open." They have
I
that
really like him
flexibility
as
in there.
center. I really like, and you know how it goes. Like somebody's probably
Yeah.
gonna get injured. He'd be incredible,
Right.
incredible to have sitting there. What I forget what happened to Cosme? Did he
Torn
get injured?
ACL late in the year.
It wasn't in the playoff game. It was later in the year.
Oh, you knew it was in, like, the last game, yeah. It was just, like, broke my heart, the playoff game.
Oh, it was the playoff game.
Yeah.
Oh, so he might not be ready for.
Right, for,
You're
like, a
right.
whole year.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, it's a
Yeah.
short-term fill that they
Oh, yeah.
really
Oh,
do
that
need.
I honestly did. I completely forgot about that injury. So that makes me feel even better about the pick. I like it.
Yeah. No,
That's what we
it's
doing here.
definitely a pick that it makes a lot of sense.
Hey, when we get to the second round, can you rapid fire the first two picks so I can see where the board falls and I take a Titans pick?
I hate to break it to you.
Oh,
I
you didn't do
I didn't do that, but we can
oh.
select it anyway. We don't worry, we'll rapid fire it.
Okay.
Just trust
Okay.
me.
Okay.
We'll rapid fire it from here. But, for the Bills, I think I'm trying to remember how they've addressed defensive interior. I don't think they've done it well. Um,
I
Boundary wide
think
receiver doesn't make any sense, like, or even the slot either. Like, Emeka Egbuka feels so similar to Palmer,
yeah.
like, in terms of the role that they would play, maybe not the talent level. Edge, they kinda have that locked down for the year. I really do think defensive interior is the route that they're gonna go.
I'm
And you
sticking in
got
the trenches too.
yeah, I mean, I think that Walter Nolan's a very good option, but I think the hot take here is that people are sleeping on Tyreek Williams.
He's
Like,
very good. Very good.
he's just, like, safe. And when
Yeah.
you're running for a championship and your defensive interior is not stout, like, not studded, getting safe is a damn good thing. And
Yeah.
I think Tyreek Williams is gonna be that choice.
I respect it. Um, Chiefs, I don't like the Chiefs. Just give them go to quarterback and go to the very bottom and select it. They don't deserve a first round pick.
If they went Trey Henderson, I just went to the straight bottom and like, oh, Trey Henderson's not. It's not impossible.
Yeah, if I had to say running back is kind of sneaky here, but I don't think so. I think they do the same thing. I think they go defensive lineman, or
Mm.
I think they go interior D line, and I think Harmon, like Harmon here a
Ooh,
lot. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I like Harmon a lot.
You got Harmon right
Um,
there.
yep.
Okay. All right. Well, Eagles at
What would you have done?
32. Huh?
Sounded kind of shocked. What would you have done there? Nolan?
I would have went Nolan, or would have went left tackle like Connerly or somebody. But I
Yeah,
mean, they
I
made a more egregious move than the Titans did at left tackle, in my opinion.
yeah, Connerly. Yeah, Connerly good would be a good pick there too. I feel
Or
like
Donnie.
interior, like
Yeah.
their offensive line does it has some pretty big issues, but I think
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
surprised they were able to give Trey Smith as much money as they did. I really thought he was going to walk, but
Yeah.
you can't. I
I
guess
didn't
at the
see
end of the
that.
day, you can't let a player that good walk.
Oh, I 100% agree. I 100% agree with that. FYI, I'm gonna just put this one in, but I'm not actually gonna click it because then just like kicks us to a new window. I'm gonna
Yeah.
go Walter Nolan for the Eagles. I mean, you look at the defensive line that they do have.
Of
First off,
course they get him. Of course.
huh?
I said, of course they get
Of
him.
course they get him. Of course they do.
Yeah.
Howie masterclass, but he falls because he's a little bit undersized, some immaturity concerns. Honestly, that just sounds more like fuel to the fire for him to replace Milton Williams, who was one of my favorite prospects coming out of Louisiana Tech. He's just somebody who is rock solid in terms of talent, super high upside, and then has an immediate fit. I don't think Moro Jomo, as much as I love Moro Jomo to death, I don't think he's going to stop the Eagles from drafting Walter Nolan and being able to upgrade in that aspect. But to rapid fire, those next two picks, we have what's next? The Browns have 33. I think they
Yes.
go
Wait.
Abuka. Yeah, the Browns
33 and
first,
then
then the
the
Giants.
Giants and then yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the Browns will go Abuka,
Okay.
just because you just get like very, very high level receiver there. And then for the Giants,
And they went Shador round 1 here.
yeah, they went Shador round 1. What would they do round 2? Honestly, a hot take is that they would actually go after a sneaky weapon like Jack Besh or Jaden Higgins to be wide receiver X, because they just do not have someone who's reliable.
Is that your final answer?
That's going to be my final answer, but I mean, I think that leaves you with a burden.
Go to edge first though. Go to edge, and I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing anybody.
Scoring's a beast, and then of
Yeah,
course my king,
yeah.
the
I
goat.
just don't think if you're actually taking Cam Ward, I don't think you could pass up. You cannot go into this season with Van Jefferson as wide receiver
Wide
number
receiver 2.
2 for a rookie quarterback. So
Yeah,
I think Burden is very, very, very good here. I
wide receiver
really,
back to back.
I like, and I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah,
Let's go Burden. It's kind of wild the Giants passive on Burden there, but I'm okay with it.
I feel like
Yeah,
that's Wan'Dale Robinson's role. Like,
yeah, that's
like
very true. Yeah.
Now, if you enjoyed mine and Alex's mock draft, you can click right here to watch his mock draft with football analysis, who's a lot smarter than me, so you'll probably enjoy it a little bit more. So click it, go watch it.